Imaging analyzing billions of records in the time it takes to sip your coffee. That is the power of Apache Spark. In this video, we are going to talk about what is Apache Spark, difference between a Spark context and a Spark sessions, followed by the advantage, disadvantage, and demonstrations as well. So let's start. Apache Spark, it's an open source data processing framework. It supports a speed and scalability. In terms of a fault tolerance and reliability, it ensures data integrity followed by the recovery. It is a multi-language support. Flexibility is there in that in Apache Spark. We can use that in a Python, Scala, Java, R programming language followed by the SQL. So these are the flexibility we have, and 5 languages it is supporting as of now. Other than that, advantage of that in Apache Spark over Hadoop. So in terms of a speed, simplicity and flexibility, a speed, it is a in-memory computations, enhance the processing and efficiency of that in a right. Simplicity, user friendly, API simplify the complex data and operations greatly. In terms of a flexibility, it supports both batch and streaming data seamlessly, right? If you are talking about that in a Spark architecture, right? So the Apache Spark architectures consist of the key component like in driver, which coordinate the executions, right? Then we have a executor for that in a task executions. The cluster manager is there and worker node is there for the resource management. Driver, executor, cluster management, and worker node. In all, in simple, you can see the driver program is there with help of a Spark context or sessions. It will be connect with a worker node, and then in worker node will be have a executor, catch, multiple task will be there. More than one task will be there, and more than one node worker node will be there. In layman example, in any IT industry projects will be have a one manager, and then there is a multiple like in team members will be there who is reporting to that managers. So this manager is nothing but a driver program, and these are that in a employee working under that manager is nothing but a worker node. Just remember. Then a Spark context. So a Spark context is that in a introduced in that in a before to like in 1.x, right? So original entry point from like in functionality connects to that in a cluster. In a Spark we have a RDD, right? Creations and management with help of a RDD, which facilitates the distributed data processing, right? Then legacy compatibility considerations, which supports older Spark applications, right? Then the next one 2.x and onwards we have a, this is very beautiful like in capability which is known as the SparkSession. It is the unified API entry, right? It's a combine the key Spark component like integrate Spark context and SQL, simplify the data processing task, streamline jobs executions path, and enhance the performance of the and usability, boost the efficiency in the tin applications. And now 95% of the applications or modern applications is using the Spark sessions, right? So what is the difference between the in a Spark context and a Spark sessions? This is very important questions, and most of the time it is asking that in an interview whenever you are going for data engineering. The key differences and recommendations are the entry point API perspective, a Spark context as a legacy API. It's an old way of implementations, and it was there before. versions are Apache Spark versions 2.0, right? A Spark session as a modern one, which is used after versions 2.0, and as of now we are there in the 3.x versions. Unified access to the SQL. Then we have a SQL support in the Spark sessions, right? So in a Spark we have inbuilt capability which will be you can use that in a SQL as well. Hive support in that in a Spark sessions, that is another capability. Hive table you can use it directly in that in a Spark sessions, but SQL and Hive is not possible in that in a Spark context. Another one we have advantage limited Hive support in the Spark context. We have, but it is a very limited one, or we can say almost nothing. In all, using a Spark context for RDD operations allow efficient data processing and enhance the performance in the distributed systems, right? Whereas a Spark sessions is the simplifies data processing by unifying the APIs, right? Enhancing the productivity and performance for the data engineers. That is one due to that that is a beauty of that in a Spark session. Now, understanding the data transformations in the TNA Spark. So the key differences in the TNA executions context is data transformations in a Spark vary significantly between the RDD and data frames. Dataset is also there, and if you are using that in AWS Glue, so dynamic data frame is also supporting. So a Spark UI provides insight into these context, enhancing the understanding of the executions plan and optimizations. For as I was talking about that in AWS Glue, so if you want to see that in dynamic data frame, I have another video you can watch it. Guidance on that in a Spark sessions versus the Spark context, right? So in legacy system we can use that in a Spark context, or it was there, let's say you are joining any organizations where already this Spark project is running, then you will be experience that in a Spark context with help of a RDD and all. Whereas whatever project we are going to design and develop now, so we can say this is the step number one, but now we are there in a step number two, which is nothing but a Spark session. So yes, use the Spark sessions for the new applications as it integrate the multiple entry points and provide the enhanced functionality, right? The best practice for the Apache Spark in use Spark sessions. It is a primary entry point for the Spark. Performance data frame, perform the data frame. Data frame offer the better performance and easy to use, but this is the Spark sessions. Avoid multiple sessions. Having multiple Spark sessions can lead to that in a issue. So you have to use the factory design patterns, then or build a any one of the design patterns, so which will be create that in only one instance of the Spark sessions, and then you can use that in your program. Then legacy compatibility, use the Spark context only for the older applications. In terms of the management configuration, so utilize the builder patterns for configurations. So here builder pattern, it will be work as a terms of a design patterns, and it helps to taking care of that. Now it's time to that in a demo. So here we have a code, and you can see whenever we are going to use the Spark context, because I'm using that in a Spark sessions only, but with help of a Spark context. So here we are, but if you use that in exactly the Spark context, so here instead of a Spark sessions you have to use it, but we are using the backward compatibility in a Spark sessions, a Spark sessions builder and all, and then data frame and RDD is there where we are doing the parallelized data frame, and then we are getting the results as a collect, and then we are releasing this memory, and then finally printing the value with help of a print, right? So this is the kind of a backward compatibility with a Spark context, but it is not 100% a Spark context this code. Then a Spark session. So if you'll see PySpark SQL and then a Spark sessions, then we are creating that in a builder, the name of that in a Spark, then either get or create. Followed by the data, we have a Alice 1, Bob 2, and Charlie 3. Column, name and ID we are printing, and data frame. Here we are using the create a data frame. We are passing that in a data followed by the columns. And then df dot show, and then releasing that in a or stopping the Spark sessions, and followed by that you can see how nice we are getting the results. So in summary, this is all about what is the Spark, what is the difference between a Spark context and a Spark sessions, followed by the advantage and disadvantage, and the example as well. So thanks for watching, and if you like my video, please subscribe it. And if you are looking for more depth knowledge, we are offering that in a training, in like in 101 or group training, so you can join that in our course as well. I'll be put that in this course link in that in a descriptions. So once again, thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.